Welcome to IAS Academy. Prior to the 2023 preliminary exam, we will cover 15 questions daily in a video. So, let's start our session. Our first question is, with reference to Rowlatt Satyagraha, which of the following statement is or are correct? The Rowlatt Act was based on the recommendations of the Sedition Committee. That is correct. In Rowlatt Satyagraha, Gandhiji tried to use Home Rule League. That is correct. Demonstrations against the Simon Commission coincided with the Rowlatt Satyagraha. That is incorrect. Select the correct answer using the codes given below. The answer to this question is option B. Statement 1 and 2 are correct. The Rowlatt Act was the Anarchical and Revolutionary Crimes Act of 1990 passed by the British Indian government. This act gave the government the power to imprison any person suspected of terrorist activities for a maximum period of 2 years without trial. All Indian leaders opposed this act. Gandhi thought that constitutional measures would be in vain, and so he proposed a nationwide hartal in protest. This was known as the Rowlatt Satyagraha. The Rowlatt Committee was a sedition committee appointed in 1918 by the British Indian government with Sidney Rowlatt, an English judge, as its president. So statement 1 is correct. The purpose of the committee was to evaluate political terrorism in India, especially Bengal and Punjab. In organizing his satyagraha, Gandhi tried to utilize three types of political networks: the Home Rule Leagues, certain pan-Islamist groups, and a Satyagraha Sabha, which he himself started in Bombay. So statement 2 is correct. But statement 3 is incorrect. As you know, Rowlatt Satyagraha was in 1990 and demonstration against Simon Commission was in 1928. So the answer to this question is option B. Number 2, who of the following were economic critics of colonialism? Dadabhai Naoroji, G. Subramania Iyer, R.C. Dutt. Select the correct answer using the codes given below. The answer to this question is option D, all the above. Dadabhai Naoroji, R.C. Dutt, Ranade, Gokhale and G. Subramania Iyer were among those who grounded Indian nationalism firmly on the foundation of anti-imperialism by highlighting economic critique of colonialism. The drain theory was established by Dadabhai Naoroji. Ramesh Chandra Dutt, a retired ICS officer, published the Economic History of India at the beginning of 20th century, in which he examined in minute detail the entire economic record of colonial rule since 1757. Increased poverty and lower wages were among the indirect products of colonial rule, according to R.C. Dutt. G. Subramania Iyer was the founder of Hindu in 1878 and the Tamil newspaper Swadesh Mitran in 18. So your answer to this question is option. Question number 3. With reference to Congress Socialist Party, consider the following statements. It advocated the boycott of British goods and evasion of taxes. That is incorrect. It wanted to establish the dictatorship of proletariat. That is incorrect. It advocated separate electorate for minorities and oppressed classes. That is incorrect. Which of the statements given above is or are correct? The answer to this question is option D. None of the above statements are correct. Congress Socialist Party was formed in 1934 as party within the Congress. It was in favor of socialist ideas within the Congress. It believed in democratic socialism. It did not favor separate electorates. The Congress Socialist Party advocated decentralized socialism in which cooperatives, trade unions, independent farmers and local authorities would hold a substantial share of the economic power. So her answer to this question is option B. Question number 4. Which of the following statement is or are correct regarding National Innovation Foundation India? That is NIF. Statements are: NIF is an autonomous body of the Department of Science and Technology under the central government. That is correct. NIF is an initiative to strengthen the highly advanced scientific research in India's premier scientific institutions in collaboration with highly advanced foreign scientific institutions. That is incorrect. Select the correct answer using the codes given below. The answer to this question is option A. Statement 1 only is correct. The National Innovation Foundation is an autonomous body. NIF set up in March 2000 with the assistance of Department of Science and Technology. It is India's national initiative to strengthen the grassroots technological innovations and outstanding traditional knowledge. Its mission is to help India to become a creative and knowledge-based society by expanding policy and institutional space for grassroots technological innovation. So your answer to this question is option A. Question number 5. With reference to the use of nanotechnology in health sector, which of the following statement is or are correct? Statements are: targeted drug delivery is made possible by nanotechnology. That is correct. Nanotechnology can largely contribute to gene therapy. That is also correct. Select the correct answer using the codes given below. The answer to this question is option C. Both the statements are correct. Nanotechnology can be used for safe delivery of drugs in a non-invasive way and can also be used in gene therapy, including curing cancers. Nanosystems have significantly different biological properties from large-sized systems like implants or microparticles. In drug therapy, we face the problems of inefficiency or non-specific effects. Hence, nanosystems are being developed for targeted drug therapy. Medical nanotechnology can largely contribute to genetic therapy and improvement. Diseases can be easily treated if approached at the genetic level. So, instead of treating diseases based on the symptoms, nanotechnology will help medical practitioners to treat the problem by looking at the root cause. So, your answer to this question is option C. Question number 6. Consider the following pairs. Srisailam, Nallamala Hills, that is correct. Omkareshwar, Satmala Hills, that is incorrect. Pushkar, Mahadev Hills, that is incorrect. Which of the above pairs these all are correctly matched? The answer to this question is option A, where one only is correctly matched. Srisailam is one of the popular tourist destinations in Andhra Pradesh and considered one of the most important pilgrimage centers of Lord Shiva. It is located on Nallamala Hills. Hence, pair 1 is correct. Omkareshwar is situated on the Mandada Hills in Madhya Pradesh, known in ancient time as Shivapuri. But Satmala mountain ranges runs across Nasik, Maharashtra. Hence, pair 2 is incorrect. The Mahadev Hills are a range of hills in Madhya Pradesh state of central India. But Pushkar lies on the central east part of Rajasthan on the western side of Aravalli mountains. Hence, pair 3 is incorrect. So, our answer to this question is option A. Question number 7. The area known as Golan Heights is related to options are Central Asia, Middle East, Southeast Asia, Central Africa. Here, answer to this question is option B, Middle East. The Golan Heights is a rocky plateau with an area of 1800 kilometers on the border between Israel and Syria in southwestern Syria. Israel occupied the Golan Heights, West Bank, East Jerusalem and the Gaza Strip in 1967, a six-day war. An armistice line was established and the region came under Israeli military control. Syria tried to retake the Golan Heights during the 1973 Middle East War. Syria was defeated in its attempt. Both countries signed an armistice in 1974 and a UN observer force has been in the place on the ceasefire line since 1974. In 1981, Israel permanently acquired the territory of the Golan Heights and East Jerusalem in moves never recognized by most countries. The international community regarded as disputed territory occupied by Israel, whose status should be determined by negotiations between Israel and Syria. Attempts by the international community to bring Israel and Syria for negotiations have failed so far. So, your answer to this question is option B. Question number 8. The Government of India Act of 1919 clearly defined options are separation of power between judiciary and the legislature, jurisdiction of central and provincial governments, powers of Secretary of State for India and the Viceroy, and none of the above. The answer to this question is option B. The Government of India Act 1919 clearly defined the jurisdiction of central and provincial governments. The Government of India Act of 1919 was thus enacted, which came into force in 1921. This act is also known as Mondet-Chelmsford reforms. It relaxed the central control over the provinces by demarcating and separating the central and provincial subjects. The central and provincial legislators were authorized to make laws on their respective list of subjects. However, the structure of government continued to be centralized and unitary. So, your answer to this question is option B. Question number 9. When the Reserve Bank of India reduces statutory liquidity by 50 basis points, which of the following is likely to happen? Options are India's GDP growth rate increases drastically, that is incorrect. Foreign institutional investors may bring more capital into our country, incorrect. Scheduled commercial banks may cut their lending rates, that is correct. So, your answer to this question is option C. Statutory liquidity ratio is the minimum percentage of deposits that a commercial bank has to maintain in the form of liquid cash, gold or other securities. That is basically the reserve requirement that banks are expected to keep before offering credit to customers. If SLR is reduced, banks have to borrow lesser money with RBI in form of securities, cash, etc. So they have more money to lend and the return on lending is also greater than what they get in SLR. If the lending rate is reduced by the bank to some extent, their profitability won't be hampered in case of reduction in SLR rate. Reduction in SLR is done by RBI to increase liquidity in the market. It's a tool to manage inflation rate. The SLR is fixed by the RBI and is a form of control over credit growth in India. The government uses the SLR to regulate inflation and fuel cost. Increasing the SLR will control inflation in the economy, while decreasing the SLR results in increased investment and it leads to fuel growth and demand. The SLR was prescribed by Section 24 2A of Banking Regulation Act 1949. So her answer to this question is option C. Number 10. A decreasing tax to GDP ratio of a country indicates which of the following? Slowing economic growth rates, that is correct. Less equitable distribution of national income, that is incorrect. So her answer to this question is option A. Statement 1 only is correct. If India's tax to GDP ratio is 20%, it means that government gets 20% of its GDP as tax contribution. The tax to GDP ratio is used to compare tax receipts from year to year. As taxes are related to economic activity, the ratio should stay relatively consistent. When the GDP grows, tax revenue should increase as well. Economic slowdown results in lower rates of growth, where unemployment usually rises and consumer spending decreases. As a result, tax to GDP ratio declines. Hence, statement 1 is correct. The less equitable distribution of national income is not directly related to decrease in tax to GDP ratio. Equal distribution of national income and resource allocation generally depends upon the economic planning of a country. Hence, statement 2 is not correct. So, her answer to this question is option A. Number 11. In the index of 8 core industries, which one of the following is given the highest weightage? Options are coal production, electricity generation, fertilizer production, steel production. Here, answer to this question according to the options given is electricity generation. These industries comprise a total of 40.27% of the total weight of overall items that are included in the index of industrial production list. In the index of 8 core industries, the highest weightage is currently possessed by refinery products industry. Earlier, the highest weightage was given to electricity industry. In the decreasing order of the weightage of these industries, the list is like the highest weightage is for refinery products and second highest weightage is for electricity. Then steel, coal, crude oil, natural gas, cement and fertilizer. So her answer to this question is option B. Question number 12. The fair and remunerative price of sugarcane is approved by Cabinet Committee on Economic Affairs. That is correct. So her answer to this question is option A. Fair and remunerative price is the price declared by the government which mills are legally bound to pay to the farmers for products procured from them. It has been determined on the recommendations of CACP, that is Commission for Agricultural Cost and Prices, and announced by CCEA, that is Cabinet Committee on Economic Affairs. CACP recommends the fair and remunerative prices based on inter-crop price parity, inflation considerations, fair return to farmers, and a host of other factors. So it is the Cabinet Committee on Economic Affairs that finally approves it. So our answer to this question is option number 13. Which one of the following issues the Global Economic Prospects report periodically? Options are Asian Development Bank, European Bank for Reconstruction and Development, US Federal Reserve Bank and World Bank. Here answer to this question is option D, World Bank. According to latest report, global economy will come perilously close to a recession this year, led by weaker growth in all world's top economies. Latest report indicate a sharp, long-lasting slowdown with global growth declining to 1.7% in 2023 from 3% expected just 6 months ago. Global economy is projected to 1.7% in 2023 and 2.7% in 2024. It would be the third weakest annual expansion in 3 decades, behind only the deep recession that resulted from the 2008 global financial crisis and the coronavirus pandemic in 2020. IMF had previously said that global growth is forecast to slow from 6% in 2021 to 3.2% in 2022 and 2.7% in 2023. Unexpectedly, rapid and synchronous global monetary policy tightening contributed to a significant worsening of global financial conditions and the Ukraine war also. So your answer to this question is option D. Number 14. Consider the following statement. Rajya Sabha has no power either to reject or to amend a money bill. That is correct. Rajya Sabha cannot vote on the demands for grants. That is correct. Rajya Sabha cannot discuss the annual financial statement. That is incorrect. Which of the statement given above is or are correct? Here answer to this question is option B. Statement 1 and 2 are only correct. Rajya Sabha can only keep a money bill for more than 14 days, before which the bill should be either returned to Lok Sabha with recommendations or passed by Rajya Sabha. In case of a disagreement between both the houses, the bill is deemed passed in the form of it was passed by Lok Sabha. Hence, statement 1 is correct. The finance minister presents budget with a speech known as budget speech. At the end of the speech in Lok Sabha, the budget is laid before Rajya Sabha, which can only discuss it and has no power to vote on the demands for grants. Hence, statement 2 is correct and statement 3 is incorrect. Only the Lok Sabha can vote on the demands for grants. So, the answer to this question is option B. Number 15. In India, markets in agricultural products are regulated under options are Essential Commodities Act 1955, APMC Act enacted by states, Agricultural Produce Act 1937, Food Products Order 1956 and Meat and Food Products Order 1973. The answer to this question is option B, APMC Act enacted by states. APMC under the state government regulates the notified agricultural produce and livestock. Agriculture is a state subject under Schedule 7 of the Indian Constitution. The whole geographical area in the state is divided and declared as a market area, wherein the markets are managed by the market committees constituted by state government. Once a particular area is declared as a market area and falls under the jurisdiction of a market committee, no person or agency is allowed freely to carry on wholesale marketing activities. Buyers too need to obtain individual licenses from each APMC to transact. It's a part of government policy towards food security, remunerative prices to farmers, and fair prices to consumers. So, the answer to this question is option B. So, that's all for today. Thank you for watching. We will continue with the next set tomorrow.